In today's video, we're going to be covering some of my very favorite personal signature scents. These are the type of thing that you'll often smell on me and you'll often kind of see me wearing or talking about or thinking about, you know, when it comes down to what scent I'm kind of leaning towards to wear for the day. It's usually going to be a handful of these. And, you know, like I've said before with a video like this is the type of thing that can change based on the time of the year, right? Now that we're in the cooler time of the year, a lot of these you're going to see are kind of leaning in that direction in terms of heavier, sweeter scents, although I did throw in a couple fresher ones for that time of year. But it also depends on what new things I'm adding to my collection, you know, how my taste is changing over time and all of that stuff. But as of right now, these are the things that I'm often really craving and just wanting to wear and have been wearing pretty exclusively. So I'll drop links to these down below to discounters so you can pick some up for yourself. Also, I'm running a $1,500 fragrance giveaway. You can enter to win 12 new inbox fragrances, right? There's going to be one winner. One winner takes it all home. 12 cents, all brand new in the box. $1,500 worth when we're talking discounters. If you were to buy all of those at retail, it would have cost you well over $2,000. Hit the first link down below to get entered. You're going to be able to win everything from Parfums de Marly Layton, Mancera Intense Cedrat Boise, Spice Bomb Extreme, Valentino Uomo Intense, the new Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir, YSL Eau de Parfum Intense, and a lot more. So this is going to end in about 13 days now, okay? So make sure you get entered while you can. It's a great opportunity. Okay, let's go ahead and get things kicked off with Issey Miyake Nuit d'Issey Parfum. This one here is very focused on the leather and the vanilla. You can get some pepper in here as well, so some spices, but mostly it's leathery, it's masculine, with a little bit of a vanillic sweetness. I love it. I think it's great, and you'll find that a lot of the Issey Miyake scents, at least their fresher ones, are a bit boring and you know, nothing to write home about, to use that expression. But this one and quite a few others like Noir Ombre or Incense, Pulse of the Night are really good, well above not only what they normally put out, but also they compete with and crush a lot of other designer scents that are in this price range or even more expensive, right? So they have some really good hidden gems. You just got to know where to look and you got to be able to get them. And so this is one that oftentimes is a little bit tough to get. It's in stock right now and it's been popping up, so maybe it's coming back or maybe there's just enough of it in circulation for a brief time to where a lot of you guys hopefully will be able to pick some up for yourself if you've been wanting some. So I'll link it down below with the first link there where it says fragrance is featured in this video. But yeah, I love it. If you're into leather and vanilla, look no further. It's actually a little bit smoky as well, almost from like an Olibanum feel in here. A little bit resinous, great for this time of year, fall going into winter. It's getting cold quick here. This is the type of thing that keeps you feeling warm and just really kind of hangs on when it's super cold out. Next up, we have Hugo Boss The Scent Private Accord. Now, I like this whole line. The scent line, you know, with the bottles that look like this, they're all good, okay? They all are well above a lot of other designer scents out there. Again, you know, to kind of use that terminology in the sense that these are just unique and they don't smell like everything else on the market. Now, one thing I do want to make clear is, you know, the Hugo Boss The Scent line, all of them have some similarities to each other, of course, because we're talking about a line that's developed around this one accord in particular, which is Maninka fruit. And so they all do share a lot of characteristics. But outside of this fragrance line from Hugo Boss, you're not getting anything else like this. And so what it comes down to is picking and choosing your favorite or a handful of your favorites within the line. It does seem to be growing every year. They're putting out new flankers all the time. And so it's just kind of a little bit of information overload, but do your best to sift through and use my catalog of videos and do some sampling to see what works best for you. For me, Private Accord has always been one of my go-to ones. It's also one of the older ones, and so it kind of just fits in this video almost by default because I've been wearing it longer, obviously, than the ones that have just come out within the past couple of years, but it's still one that I continue to wear. You know, the new magnetic one is really good, has this unique brand accord, which is interesting in a good way. That was one I could see myself wearing a lot in the future. Absolute is another good one, you know. Boss the Scent Intense is great as well, but that one's even harder to find. So get your hands on whichever ones you can find. If you're kind of looking into it, chances are no matter which one you get, you're probably going to like it if you're after something unique. This one here with that Maninka fruit does have some coffee and some leather as well. So I find this one to have a little bit more richness and base maybe than some of the others, but still one of my favorites. Love wearing it when it's cool outside. It's just something unique and exciting and kind of refreshing about this one. It's a nice way to reset your palate. Oh, this next one here is no surprise to me. For a lot of you guys, it probably isn't a surprise either, although maybe it is because I do not feature this anymore. I feature a lot of its clones, you know, because there's a bunch of clones out there, even still new ones being put out. But I just don't feature this one itself, you know, the OG, hardly at all, you know, and it's Aventus by Creed. You know, when it comes down to it, making a video on my signature scents, it would be a disservice to not list this one off because it is a signature scent. I have got so many bottles of this, it's ridiculous. And again, a lot of you guys have heard that spiel already. This is one of my, obviously, 4-ounce bottles. This is a 2017 bottle. It's about half, but there's so many others, and I don't wear this one as much anymore. I typically wear my newer bottles. I like to hold on to these older batches when I can. But I buy a new bottle pretty much every year to try to keep up to date with how the batches change. They now have a metal cap, which is a great touch, but it took them long enough because what will happen is, just like with this cap here, you're not even going to be able to see it, but on the front of it, in the middle, there's a hairline crack. Oh, I think you might be able to catch that a little bit, you know, right there. I don't know. But anyway, what happens is the cap gets super loose and it just doesn't really help the situation a whole lot. And plus it's a, you know, $500 scent and it's that cheap. I digress. Aventus, this scent DNA is one of my all-time favorite fragrances ever. Every time I have a chance to wear Aventus, I wear it, and that's often. I wear it a ton. Especially anytime I'm going out, not even necessarily to something where I'm dressed up or it's like a fancy event, but just going out, you know, I'm wearing Aventus. So I love it. It's one where it's so overdone and played out at this point. I just don't feel the need to feature it in videos all the time. It's one of my favorites, but it's kind of, you know, its time for YouTube videos is past its prime, kind of like Sauvage EDT and stuff. It's just, no one wants to hear about it anymore. It's still one that I wear all the time though. Next up, we have Chanel Platinum Egoiste. I've talked about this one a good amount. It's an aromatic fougere. So it's a bit of a classic style, you know, a bit of a barbershop, old school smelling scent. But one thing that I've said about this one since the beginning, and I still stick by it, is it's remarkable how they were able to capture this aromatic fougere DNA, but then spin it with a modern twist. So it really does smell like a modernized barbershop scent, and I don't know this 100%, but it's been out for a while, maybe close to 20 years. I could be wrong on that. I know it's nothing new, Platinum Egoiste, it's been around, but to me it still almost smells like this could have been released last year. You know, obviously the aromatic fougere DNA itself is old, right? But the modern twist and the aromatic fresh twist that they put on this one makes it smell up to date and new. And again, this is not new. Nothing about it is new. So I really respect that and I admire that. I think that is fantastic. A lot of guys are just not going to be into your typical barbershop style scent, right? Because if you're going from what's being put out now to that, it's like doing a 360. It's completely different, okay? But this one here, it's, again, it's a lot easier to pull off and just, it's better overall. Yeah, so Platinum Egoiste, it's one that I love to wear. I've got some of the older bottles, the ones that are more narrow. This is kind of the newer style bottle that you'll get if you buy it now. Great stuff. You know, it smells like a very, very high-end, expensive hotel body soap as well, or maybe not even hotel body soap, but just a very classy, gentleman-smelling body wash. Something expensive, you know. There's just so many ways to describe this one, but I love it. It is clean and fresh, super versatile. You can wear this for anything, legitimately anything, any time of year. Next up, we have Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. I still bust out carbon every now and then when I have a chance, when I'm not testing something new or, whatever it might be. I'm always doing something, right? That's another thing is sometimes it can be hard to get in my favorites, when I'm testing new releases, when I'm testing new to me stuff that I just have brought into the collection. And everything else in between, and so every now and then I get to visit some old kind of nostalgic scents, and carbon is one of those for me. It's one that my fiance loves. There for a while, years back, this was kind of one of her most requested scents for me to wear. And as you can tell, I was kind of showing that a minute ago, it's seen better days, right? It's about empty. This is my original bottle, and not a whole lot left. But I love it, even still. It is Sauvage EDP, essentially, but this came out before Sauvage EDP. But it's even more smooth than Sauvage EDP, and so that's kind of how I describe it. It's the Sauvage DNA, but with the edges rounded off, and again, it's even more smooth and I don't know, more polished than the eau de parfum of Sauvage, in my opinion. And something like Sauvage Parfum just goes further away from that, not in line with this. So that's kind of how I fit it in. It's great. It's metallic. It's not as sharp or peppery as Sauvage, but it does have that metallic smell. Ton of ambroxan in here, some citrus off the top, a lot of lavender. It's aromatic and fresh. It smells amazing. People love how it smells. You guys know carbon. Next up, we have Gentleman Eau de Parfum by Givenchy. This is one that I've also been wearing for a long time. Another kind of nostalgic scent for me. There was a point where you could get this pretty consistently for $60. Now it's around 70 to 80, so not a huge increase, but a notable one, and that's happened with a lot of scents over the years, not just this. What was I just talking about last? The Prada, yeah, that Luna Rossa Carbon there. You used to be able to get that for $50 all day long on discounters. $55, 100 milliliters. Gone are those days. Now it's 80 to 85, and so it's just how it is. That's how the game is, and so I don't know. Nothing we can do about it. Does that mean that these aren't worth buying anymore? Not necessarily, but that might be a factor for you to consider when you're doing some shopping. For me, Gentleman Eau de Parfum will always be a pretty easy purchase. And like I've said before, talking about a few of the others, nowadays I'm going to be a lot more inclined to wear the Eau de Parfum, in this case, the Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé, okay? But again, going back a ways, going just historically, this is one that I've been wearing more because I've had it longer. Gentleman Reserve Privé just came out. And so, is it a signature scent of mine, Reserve Privé? It's going to be soon. I maybe can't say that it is yet because I haven't had nearly as much seat time with it as I have with this and a lot of these others. So when you're kind of wondering, well, but you've talked about the new releases, I have, and I love them, but I just haven't had as much time with them yet. These are still just kind of some of my OG signature scents that I love and that are hard to replace. So if you're looking for a very wearable iris and vanilla scent, check out Gentleman EDP. And again, if you want what is probably, for a lot of people, going to be the better option, it would be Reserve Privé. That stuff is hard to beat as well. Mustache Eau de Parfum by Rocus. This is the YSL Tuxedo DNA at a fraction of the cost. This is about $50 to $55 for 120, or is it 125? Can't see. 125, yeah, so 4.2 ounce. 125 ml, 50, 55, maybe $60, okay? Testers do come with a cap, and that is a way to save a few bucks as well. Whereas YSL Tuxedo, I believe, retails somewhere in the ballpark of $250, so big savings. Now, at this point, I don't know what happened, but there are so many YSL Tuxedo clones, right? So many, and Tuxedo is nothing new. This has been out for a long time. There has even been some other Tuxedo clones from some smaller, like indie clone brands that have been out for a long time. So I don't know what the frenzy has been with this one lately, but there's a ton of them. And so now I have many other options because I have all of them. I've featured pretty much all of them here. Afnan Taurathi Brown, Fragrance World, Suits, Alhambra the Tux, and so on. That's not all of them either. I'm sure I'm missing some, but you guys get the drift. And so at this point, I could wear any of those, right? I could even wear the original if I wanted to, but I don't because my bottle's almost empty because I decanted a lot of it because that's how I was only able to afford it back in the day when I first bought it. And so, again, generally when I'm going for this, I go for one of the clones. Rocus is one that I go for a lot, or some of the others. But this is the one that I've had the most time with, and so it's in the video. I love this DNA for fall. Okay, and we're going to finish this one with more of a summery scent here. It is Light Blue Forever. So this is probably, yeah, it is actually one of the newest scents in the video. This is, what was this, a 2020 release, or maybe 21? Something like that. Time is going by pretty quickly. I can't keep it all straight. But it's, you know, it was one where it took me by surprise in a great way, and I still love everything about it. Might be discontinued. I think it is, because you're having trouble finding it now. Italian Love, same thing. It's not going to stop me. Backup bottle wise, it's looking not too good. I don't think I have very many. In fact, I don't think I have any at all. Maybe one, but I don't even think so. So I'm going to pick up some backups whenever it becomes available online. I'll grab some for myself, and I will let you know as well. I actually sent out an email the other day when Italian Love came in. 100 ml bottles for below retail of what it would retail for when you can buy it, and that thing sold out quick. So it's telling me that you guys are after this DNA as well, because it's going away. So jump on my mailing list and texting list down below, and you'll be the first to be notified about anything rare, discontinued, or hard to find popping up. But yeah, Light Blue Forever. I love everything about it, and I'll love it forever. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some of my personal favorite signature scents for men. I love these. I wear them all the time, just depending on the year, depending on when I can work them in. But there's scents that if I'm not wearing them necessarily at that time, in that moment, it's a good chance I'm probably thinking about it and planning when I'll wear it next. You know, I love them. Can't get away from them. And don't forget, 13 days left to enter the $1,500 fragrance giveaway. Take home 12 brand new in-box bottles, designer, niche. Most everything in that giveaway is, you know, up over $100 a pop there in terms of each bottle. So a great way to, you know, start a collection from scratch if you have none or a couple bottles. If you already have a good collection, another 12 more, that's a pretty big drop in the bucket. Hit the first link down below to get entered and find out more information on that. And you'll be able to see the full list of what's included there, but you got to act quick before it is up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.